All right.
All right, we are live with our Fishbowl Almanac episode. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, actually, you know what? Now we are live. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this Fishbowl 2005 Almanac. I am Stevenson. I'm not alone though.
I am here with Stevenson. I'm B. McGraw. And to start the event, I'm going to crack open my beer.
Perfect. And we're doing a little bit of a earlier episode just because everyone has things going on and don't want to take up too much time. So this may not be a full hour. It may only be like half hour, 45 minutes. But how this all came to be, I was telling B. McGraw this was that I was going thrifting
One
and
second.
I was looking through the books and I found this. It's called, I don't know if we can get it in the shot. Yeah. So it's this Times for Kids Almanac from 2005. And I thought it'd be really fun to, rather than do the typical fishbowl, to do this one instead. So I have a couple of the different categories that are within the almanac there on the whiteboard, as you can see. We'll spin the wheel as usual, like in any ordinary fishbowl, and we'll land on it and we'll talk about some of the things that are within that chapter and that segment. There, some of the stuff in there I will say is there's not a whole lot. It seems like it's only like a couple sentences about each one of the topics. But there's nothing saying that we can't do a little bit of side research or just see where it takes us. So without further ado, B. McGraw, do you have anything before we start?
Nope. But if I popped off there, that's because of my barking foster dog.
Oh, no,
We
that's
caught him
fine.
a couple days ago, and he
Oh,
is
really?
a barking at small noises type of a dog.
See, before we actually get into the show, like dog and cat people, like I'm a cat person. I personally like cats because they're just kind of like they kind of do their own thing. They're almost like having another person around, but they're just a fuzzy little creature. I mean, I'm not against dogs by any means, but that's really cool that you're fostering a dog.
Oh yeah, we do dogs and cats. Well, one cat that is getting pretty fed up with all of our foster dogs.
Okay, so are you like before we get started, are you a cat person or a dog person?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I like them both kind of in their own ways.
Yeah.
Like especially if you understand them. Like there's a lot of times that I like dogs more and sometimes that I like cats more. Like cats are more fun if you're like watching TV and or playing
Yes.
video games, but dogs are more fun if you're doing things.
I would agree with that. And I feel like dogs are a little bit easier to travel with too than like cats. Cats, I mean, like cats, they have to have a litter box and they're I don't feel like they travel very well. Now I have seen truckers on the road that have like cats up in their windshield.
Oh, you could probably because a trucker would be able to fit a litter box in their
Yeah.
cab easily.
Yeah. You don't see that too often where people are traveling with cats. It's more of dogs. So but okay, we'll actually get into it. Right, and we might have one other guest stop by the name of Conda. If anyone remembers, Conda helped us out with a cryptid episode, so he might swing by, may or may not. We'll see. But here we go. All right, six inventions. All right, let's
I
see.
wonder. So is this like what were the inventions that people thought were going to be really important in 2005?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of like what technology like just came out in 2005 and then some of it I'll see if it has anything of like what the future may hold. So the first
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
And I think this is before like smartphones got really big, and that's probably the big invention since then.
oh yeah, 100%. And it's funny that you say smartphones because this is going to bleed right into that because this is why I think this specific piece of technology never took off was because of the smartphones. And what it is, it's called Watch Out. Parents can keep track of their kids with the Wearify watch. Now it's spelled WHERIFY watch.
A
It
Wearify.
Yeah, it finds kids by sending a signal to satellites in space, and the parents can track or then can check a private website to learn their child's location. Before we get on into like any of the other inventions, now this is
Wow.
yeah, so this is
Oh,
why
and that was a GPS tracker?
yes, yeah.
Huh. Oh my gosh, that looks huge.
Yes, and like actually, you know what? I actually never looked at it. It has a picture of it, but I didn't look on it online. Where if I watch for kids?
I wonder how long the battery lasted on that thing.
I am not. I can't imagine too long. Honestly, it probably only lasted maybe like a couple of hours.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I've taken 2 GPS classes in grad school and have like I've written the code to make a GPS receiver,
Oh
and once
dang!
once you've gone through all of the math to get like a single bit from space, like you realize, oh, that's why it runs down the battery.
And like this is why I think the thing never took off because of smartphones because the way that technology just moved forward was that all right, there's no need for kids to have like a watch or even really anybody because your phone acts as a satellite
Oh
receiver
yeah.
by itself. So
Hmm.
this is why I think that never took off. um Now, do you think this was like a good idea? Do you think this was, in the best interest of the kids, the parents, or do you think this was like, nah, like don't make something like this?
Huh. Well, I could definitely see that being a thing that parents would be very interested in. I mean, especially if like their media is just like, oh, this Amber Alert, and this kid just goes missing, and I mean, we're also coming off of the age of serial killers,
Yes.
so
I
very possibly the big thing a lot of people would want.
I think for this, I think it's who, because again, we all have cell phones, so we're always like, in some sort of way being tracked. I think like it depends on who owns or who's tracking your kids. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's if it's a private like security company where it's like, all right, yeah, they have their own, because that's the thing is like, okay, no one has their own satellites in space. Like, like they use other, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know how much you know about satellites, but I don't think like a private security company is going to launch their own satellite into space to like do
Oh
this
well, I mean,
project.
no one's well that it's going to use GPS satellites, like,
Yeah.
and that's open to the public. And I think around then they used to specifically make the civilian GPS signal like 50 meters off so that only the military could correct
Oh.
for it and use it as accurate as it is. But right now, I can't remember when this happened. They turned off that kind of like sabotage part of the system.
Yeah.
um I'm gonna look that up. I don't know when that happened, but when they did that, it actually turned out like a really good idea because now we have all of these like public open companies making really great GPS receiver technology like this.
That
Um,
that is crazy. I did not know that they
when?
did something like that.
Oh yeah, no, that was in the early days. I mean, they started launching GPS satellites, I want to say in the 70s or 80s. And back
Okay.
then, like, so the reason we're able to get like a bit from space on such a small receiver is right now we have these things called correlator banks where we know like every bit that comes from a GPS signal is encoded with 1024 little bits or chips. So we have these things in the receivers that just multiply the signal hundreds of times until it gets out of the noise floor. Like the signal is actually below the noise floor. So in the early days, you needed a huge antenna to use it. And it was
Yeah.
only like possible on these ships. But now we basically have receivers that are pulling the signal above the noise floor. But with the commercial companies, when they stopped sabotaging the signal, they got really good at making these correlator banks because basically we're keeping track of these signals on you need at least 4 satellites to get a
Yeah.
position, and usually you
Yep.
have 16.
I have heard that where you need multiple satellites to get your actual location too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fun fact on why is because it's a time difference of arrival in between your receiver and the satellite, right?
Mhm.
So the GPS satellite has an atomic clock that makes it really accurate, but your receiver doesn't have an atomic clock because those are expensive. So what you're doing is you with at least 4 time difference of arrival measurements between at least 4 different satellites, you can solve for your 3D position and your clock error on the receiver, which is why any GPS receiver basically has an atomic clock.
You know, honestly, you could have lied to me all right there, and you could be making all that up. Like, I'm just so
I really could be, but honestly, like I could go on for an hour about the GPS system because it's one of the most it's one of the most impressive things that's just kind of like public use right now.
well, what doesn't make sense to me right now, maybe you can answer this to me. All right, so I back when they first made, I think it was one of the first Garmin Epix watch. It was like one of the first Garmin like satellite GPS watch type things, like right?
Hmm.
And for whatever reason, w- how can a company turn off like the receiver or location for that like that watch band? How does that work? Because if the GPS is open to the public and I have a Garmin watch, I bought that, but is can Garmin take off that ability to receive that signal?
I mean, you just don't turn on the receiver, I guess. I don't know. I also looked it up, and they stopped degrading the civilian GPS signal in May of 2000. So that would have been enough
Oh.
time for people. Yeah, 2005 would probably be around when enough companies had the time to start making receivers.
So I guess maybe this is why this was like this invention in 2005 was like,
Mm,
pretty mainstream, or it was trying to be something unique because you said 2000, they took it off in 2005. This is when this Wearify watch came out. So interesting.
yeah. Well, yeah, because in the 90s and 80s, after like it became operational, no one was really able to use it. So it limited the accuracy to about 100 meters for the civilian signal.
Oh, so it wasn't 50, it was 100.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, same thing, kind of like with since we're on technology, we'll step away from the GPSs, but I'm also reading in the Almanac that a professor in Japan has created an invisible cloak. A video camera records the scene behind the wearer. A projector flashes the scenery onto the wearer's cloak, which acts like a screen. This lets the wearer blend into the background. Huh. That's really
That's
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. Let's see here. That's the picture
Oh
that
my gosh. Want
Yeah.
to disappear?
Yeah.
I just got that upgrade on the video game I'm playing. My garbage week video game is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and that's one of the upgrades.
Is you can get a cloak?
It's well, like one of the characters just like kind of disappears if they stay still.
Oh.
It kind of looks like that. It's a good one. The gameplay is a lot like an Arkham game because they have like a grappling hook thing.
Oh, okay. With this cloak thing, now I haven't seen any technology or anything like progression, I guess, in this direction where we're needing to wear cloaks or we're like they're mainstream. Now the watch thing, yes, because I feel like the Garmin watches, the Fitbits, I think there's a couple other companies. I feel like okay, the watch satellite thing, I guess that kind of is a thing. It did take off. But as far as the cloaks, I haven't heard or I haven't seen anything in the past, I guess, 20 years in any sort of forward direction with that.
I mean, there's nothing that would like stop you from making something like that, except that the only way to cloak yourself would be to know where the viewer is.
Yes.
or be in a background that's so bland that it's going to look the same no matter what angle you're being perceived from.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the big problem with that's because I think that's been around for a bit.
Yeah, and I have seen things in the news and like I've in Reddit posts and all that where it's like, okay, yeah, like people are creating these things. But I think you bring up a really good point where it's like, where's the perspective of the observer to that
Mhm.
actual person? Because the background is going to be different. And with this one, it seems like you need a head-on shot for this one to actually work. And I guess you need your arms kind of spread out too. It just doesn't seem very practical. It's a cool idea, but yeah, I just don't think it's very practical.
Yeah. Yeah, no, only because I think I saw there was some Instagram video or something that I scrolled by that was showing some people like putting up a screen to like block someone's view, like at a security guard station, but they had to like match it to like it showed them tracking the eyes of the security guard to
Yeah.
like change the perspective of the like cloak screen thing.
Okay.
Because otherwise, like, as it would like the screen got closer down a hallway, like the perspective would change more rapidly as you would walk like from left to right, and then
Okay.
you would see that something's up.
Isn't it crazy how like in movies they just the way that they perceive or like the way because like you think of like the Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise, how they have like these sort of things where like this invisibility cloak and it like it looks like it could you can almost see like oh yeah that's very possible, but in the grand scheme of things I think we're still kind of far away from the whole invisibility cloak stuff going on.
Oh yeah, it's still only in Halo.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, there was
Was
only
that was Halo out in
oh,
'05?
yes, it was. Let's see here.
Because that was always the go-to is invisibility cloak and the shotgun, and then you'd sneak up on people. Because I feel like I was playing it when I was 13.
Yes. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Okay, so Halo was released in 2001.
Oh, wow, that's so long ago.
Yes. So
What
we're
a
talking
game with staying power.
I know. Like
On
that
how
one
at Halloween, I saw a kid dressed up as Master Chief, and he looked like he was like 10 years old.
was it this Halloween?
Yes, this last Halloween, I asked him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I played with my dad. Great game."
Yes, that's that really is crazy that okay, let's see here. 2001 that was 20 well now it's going to be 25 years ago that Halo like
Oh my gosh.
I feel like there are some video games that just leave a mark on like, just the gaming community. The Halo being one of them. Another one was James Bond GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a big one.
Like that, yes, like it was the
Well, that
what
was
was
the
it?
first that I can remember shooter that you played split screen with everybody.
Yes, and then the AI like enemies were like completely different. Like they took like what was it? Like I remember watching a whole thing about this where the AI responded to you and what you were doing in the environment. It wasn't like very like, oh, I'm just gonna keep walking in a box because I am the enemy. Like as whatever you were doing, it was then responding to you.
Oh,
So it was
that's
very
cool.
yeah, it was very advanced and like that was then the golden standard was like make enemy AIs like the golden eye thing. And now look at
The
where we are now.
N64 in general was such a big leap in like console technology
Well,
back
that
then.
was well, that was 64-bit, I believe, or was it more than that?
I don't
Because
know, but it was like the first one that had a lot of like 3D graphic games, like
yes.
Mario 64,
Oh,
still playable
yes.
today.
Yes. Mario like Mario Kart. I know they had Mario Kart 3D for I think the first Super Nintendo, but it was very blocky, kind of
Yeah.
wasn't smooth. Whereas
I
the
mean, if you look at it now, you can cut yourself on those graphics, but like at the time, that was the first usable one that looked like 3D.
yes,
That was
yes,
also like the good party game or
ye-
party console where everyone could play like four people.
yes, yeah. That was a big one. And then I think with like going back to like the Halo thing, I don't I correct me if I'm wrong, but like the whole LAN party things was huge with the Xbox. I don't
Oh
know if it
yeah. No, that time in my life, we would actually one of the traditions, speaking of this, it was on New Year's Eve. We would have a
Oh.
massive we're recording this on New Year's Eve, by the way.
Yeah.
We would have a massive LAN party every New Year's Eve on whatever Halo was going on, and it was kind of like a like 30 guys in the basement with like 10 Xboxes and some dude would be in the corner and we would be making our own like landlines or putting the connectors on.
I
What a
I am
vibe.
I'm so disappointed, and like I wish I would have been able to like partake in that. I grew up with the N64 for the longest time, and then I think it was I think I was in high school when I finally got the original Xbox, but by then the Xbox 360 had come out. So like
Oh
I was
yeah.
always like one behind everybody in the grand scheme of things. So I never got to partake in the LAN parties, but I do remember some of the guys at school and some of the high schoolers talking about like, oh yeah, this weekend we're doing a huge party and you
I
know,
mean, like if you go, like someone's gonna have an extra controller. So there are a lot of people. But also when that happens, then you suck ass because you're the only you're only person there that doesn't have it to play the game at home.
exactly,
And that
exactly.
happened to me and it has affected me to this day because unrelated, um I I never had a Nintendo console where I lived. Like it was always at a grandparent's house or a friend's
Ah,
house to
yep.
play Nintendo games. So now if I ever like get invited to a Smash party or something like that, or
Yeah.
some of the newer Mario Karts even, I'm just like, okay, but I'm gonna be awful.
I speaking of N64s, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, I ended up going onto eBay and I bought one, and they were selling, like, their whole setup thing. They had, like, 20 to 30 games, multiple controllers. I'm like, "I'm gonna relive my childhood. I'm doing it," and I bought it, and
Okay,
I'm
here's the discount way of doing that for everyone listening, and I did this a few years ago. It is absolute baller. You get a Raspberry Pi and do
Oh.
the retro Pi. Like you don't even have to know that much. Just follow directions online. So
Yep.
I did that like 5-ish years ago. I had to overclock it to play most of the games, which
Yep.
also meant that I had to like do a really janky heat sink on the processor. So I glued like a really nice heat sink, and that wasn't enough for the overclock. So I like put little things of foil on the heat sink to dissipate heat faster. Once I did that, I was, and it's probably better now. You can probably get a better pie, so you don't have to do that now. That was like 5 or so years ago. You get the N64 emulator, and most of the games are on it. And at least back then, I was still able to play Mario 64 and Pod Racer at
Oh,
and
okay.
what after that, like I even figured out how to make it go mobile. So I got like a external monitor and hooked everything up with like a 3500 milliamp hour battery to like power the whole thing. And I was able to play this wherever in my
Oh.
backpack. And like I was playing it on airplanes. Everyone was watching me play this thing on an airplane because I got like a USB N64 controller off of Amazon,
No
and
way.
there was some like really tough star to get on Mario 64 that was I think in the ghost level where you have to
Yeah.
like hit a button and then you had like 10 seconds to run around the corner and do like a triple jump wall jump into like a secret room to get the
Yeah.
star.
Yeah.
And I was like doing this for like 10 minutes and I got really close one time and then I heard the airplane passenger like go, "Oh, you almost got it."
So they were even getting into
Yeah,
it.
that was how I found out they were watching me.
That's awesome. There was speaking of emulators, I did have you ever heard of the NVIDIA Shield?
No, I don't think
I
I'm
I have no idea why this thing did not take off. It was a handheld gaming system that was like it was a controller, but there was a screen built into the controller, but it closed so nice and it was so streamlined. I hate the like travel, like the Steam Deck,
Mhm.
the switches. I hate how far your hands have to be. It doesn't feel natural, like a real
Oh, yeah,
controller.
yeah. Hmm.
Whereas this
I've never
Nvidia
had
Shield,
one of those, but yeah, I can imagine that.
yeah, it sucks because it just doesn't feel natural. Like I don't know what it is, but the Nvidia Shield was like an actual controller with a screen built into it, and it was just like this beast of a thing. But I put a an N64 emulator on that, and I was playing N64 games. But that's something that I did notice now that you mention it was like I had to like go in and change the settings all the time just to play like some of the games, and it's just like it got frustrating, and I think that's why I just broke down and just bought the normal N64 because it's like you just throw the cartridge in, you just blow in it, the whole
Oh man. Well, yeah, like even like my overclocked RetroPie setup, like it was still running a little slower. Like I noticed that like Pod Racer was running a little slower than it like would have been otherwise.
yeah, yeah. There's nothing that beats the original.
Yeah, well, the
So
emulators aren't quite for some reason, like all of the Super Nintendo and NES games have like basically been perfectly matched emulation, but the N64 ones, at least last time I've tried, like are most of the way there, but still kind of struggle to be similar to just a normal N64.
yeah, I think there's that community that is that just the diehard community that loves these original games that will constantly be trying new things, fixing them, getting it to the point where it plays better or like as is the original or better. So and that, I mean I feel like that's kind of like how the Steam like the Steam community really is with like the different mods. Like I feel like you have those people that just play like I think was it Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. There's a bunch of
Oh,
different, yeah.
yeah, I'm sure people love yeah, that's an old one that everyone loves. We're getting a little closer to the 95 Almanac right now, but
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. We're getting totally off topic.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll try to get back on topic now. We'll get back into it. That was only one. And that
Oh,
was
well, I have one more thing to
go
say
for
about
it.
the inventions, and this
Yeah.
this all ties back in. So I think that's a really interesting the to remind everyone it was the GPS um, tracker for your kids,
Yes,
and
yes.
like I could honestly do a whole hour just talking about GPS, but I will say that like GPS is the underdog technology of modern infrastructure. For instance, our cell phones would not work without it. Because of GPS, all of our phones basically have an atomic clock, which is the only way that we can do a CDMA communication scheme, which is it's a code division multiple access. So we're all operating relatively on the same spectrum in the same time around our cell phone tower, but
Mhm.
we have a very unique, like orthogonal code that only our phone can really access. And there's a lot of math things that go into why that can work. Um, like all of the codes are orthogonal, as in if you multiply your phone's code versus another code at the time that it's in use, it'll basically be a multiplication of zero. It won't come out, but yours will like amplify the signal
Yeah.
mathematically. But the
Interesting.
only reason that that's able to happen is because the timing on all of our devices is um, good enough because of our GPS driven atomic clocks that we can even have cell phone service.
And now is that talking so is that saying just like as far as like synchronizing everyone like on the same time?
Well, it's kind of like so um, in the way information travels over the air.
Mhm.
Um, so you know how like a radio signal is like centered around like a certain frequency, and then that'll span like a certain amount of megahertz or whatever.
Yeah.
The amount of information that can go over the air roughly translates to that amount of megahertz. But
Okay.
because we can all access that same spectrum at the same time, but just have a unique signal within that spectrum using code division multiple access or CMA, um, we're all able to share the same spectrum over that same frequency. And since like spectrum is super, super limited as a resource over the air, the only way that it works is if we have good enough clocks. So this is kind of like this is one of those weird subjects that I know a lot about because I'm like a signal processing. I literally have a signal processing degree, so I know all about it, and I can like see the math up and down everything.
Yeah.
Um, but when that started getting really applied around this time, when everything got a GPS receiver, that made all of these wireless applications possible when previously they weren't. So it's actually a really
Okay.
good invention as a marker of the time, because right after that, you got all of the smartphones and internet cell phones because we were able to
Okay.
really use
Yes.
spectrum when
Yeah.
previously we couldn't.
Okay. I think I get what you're saying. You might have to draw a picture of it too to like for me to fully understand, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. Like I'd probably need one of those like videos to explain. Yeah, I think most people would need graphics to really follow all that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the long story short is without GPS, a lot of modern innovations in the like cell phone signal domain just it's not possible.
That makes sense. It
Or
really
we would
does.
have to do some other innovation, like we would have a lot more cell phone towers in like neighborhoods or
Yeah.
something.
That wouldn't bother me. I need a cell phone tower in my neighborhood.
Well, you would need all of the cell phone towers for the same or worse service. Let's just
Oh,
say
okay.
that.
Never mind then. All right, spinning the wheel. Let's see what our second topic is. Okay, the world. Okay, so now with this topic, there's not a whole lot. It's I'll just kind of let's see here. I'll
Let's see.
find
Were we in
this.
Iraq by then? That was '03, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So glad we were able to bring freedom to the Iraqi people.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Where is it? Okay, here we go. All right. So for the world, it's just kind of like some snidbits of information from around the world. A lot of the stuff is kind of like in the past, so I'm not going to hit on that. But there's a top 5 tourist destinations in 2005.
Oh,
So for international tourists are more likely to visit these locations. So there's 5. What do you think in 2005 was the number one place for tourists to visit?
oh man. Hmm. That's tough. I have no idea. I feel like I feel like it'd be all the normal ones like Paris, Greece, Rome.
I'll let you have 2 answers. You pick 2 that you think could be in the number one spot.
Okay. I'm gonna go with
Country. It doesn't have to be city, just
all right.
country.
I'm gonna say Italy and let's just go Italy, France. That feels pretty baseline popular across the years.
All right. Well, you are right with it being France is number 1. Italy is number 4.
Hmm.
Spain is number 2. 3 is US,
Interesting.
and then 5 is China.
Oh, China back then.
Yes. And I would really be kind of interested to see if
China kind of rapidly developed in between 2005 and now.
yeah, and I don't know if it's I don't know if it's still a very like hot touristy place, but I feel like it's like the whole tensions between all these power nations right now, like I don't know if it's still like certain countries are more desirable than others. I'm gonna look at it right now. 2025
Well, we didn't
top.
really have a lot of global tension like that back then
No, we
because,
didn't.
well, like the only people that were mad about like economic globalism, in which that's pretty kind of niche, or you had to be like in the um you had to be in like the union advocating for something, and it's just like this is going to cause problems down the line.
Yeah.
Or oh no, there was a Planet Money the other day that was talking about um I don't know if this was a rerun or a new episode, but it was talking about how economists did not expect like the China shock like it actually happened, and it was just certain towns by around this time in history 2005 were basically just going through economic depressions from their factories shutting down from being outcompeted. And it was like if you weren't in that town, you just didn't know about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Did not know that.
But yeah, I haven't been to China. My wife has gone to China and really loved it, but I don't think I'm able to right now.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully in the future. I do love Chinese history.
Uh, this is
But
actually
yeah,
kind of harder to search for than I thought. I think I don't know. This it's kind of weird because I'm getting like a bunch of conflicting information because like a lot of this is like okay based on Google, based on you know experts. I I'm not really getting a. Oh, let's see here. According to traveler.us.news.com, the world's best places to visit for 2026 is going to be number one is Rome, then Tokyo, Prague, the Swiss Alps.
oh, Prague's great. I was there for my honeymoon a year ago.
Oh, really?
Rome also has a lot of good stuff. Prague was a nice visit
Mhm.
because everything was really close together, and I don't think that's the
Oh,
case for Rome.
okay.
But like Prague, you could literally walk everywhere.
World.
Yeah,
I'm
we
seeing
did
if
all the
I.
Christmas markets. Yeah, Rome, I feel like is always going to be up there.
All right, world. Okay, where do people visit the most in the world? This is based on when did this article come out? In 2005 or 2000 not 2005, 2025. It looks like France is number 1, then Spain, US, Turkey, Italy, Mexico, UK, Germany, Japan, and Greece. So France, I think France is
France
always going
really
to
has a lot of staying power.
I
Well,
was going to say.
they have nice weather compared to a lot of the other countries, and they have a lot of culture and a lot of monuments to see. So that kind of makes sense to me. I mean, I was in France this summer. It was a lot to see.
Why do people like France so much? Yeah, you're kind of right. The rich culture, heritage. Let's see here. The cuisine, the good work-life balance, warm hospitality. So it looks like, and then like I feel like the whole like France like love. It's
Hmm.
all of that. I think is a big attraction to it as well.
They've really marketed themselves over the centuries.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, good on them. The other part of let's see here, where was it? The Did I lose my mark on it? Shit, I did. Oh no, there it is. Okay. So for Americans though, in 2005, where do you think Americans most traveled to in 2005?
Is it like inclusive of America?
No, no.
Or like it has to be an international destination?
Yeah, it's international destinations again.
Ugh. I mean, like if you're going by volume, probably Mexico because it's close and cruise ships.
Damn, you're good. It is Mexico.
Woo!
It's Mexico, then Canada, United Kingdom, France, and then Germany.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, like Mexico, like when I before I looked at it, I was like, oh, Mexico, Canada. But then it makes sense because they're right next to us. You know, we share borders with them. So it's like, all right, I want to go to another country. Just go right down south, or I want to go
Yeah,
north. So
but
that
just cruise
piece,
ships alone probably drive that.
yes. And I do remember, like, I feel like it's not so much a thing now. I feel like it's almost like the camping or camper lifestyle people where like cruise ships, like I feel like we're the huge rage back in like early OZs, mid 2000s, and then like you don't hear about them anymore. Um, but I do hear of like those people that like like the people that do camping for a living, and it's like the
Mm.
camper community. I feel like there's also a cruise community where like what they do is they just go on cruises.
Yeah, like I've never been on one, but my older brother married into a family that went on cruises pretty regularly.
Oh,
And he
okay.
was
Any
telling me
store?
about it, and they enjoyed it. I mean, like after hearing about it, I was more open to going to a cruise, but I don't think I want to go on one until I'm older, and then that makes sense. Then
What?
I can imagine a cruise being great, as in like I'll have a few hours to go on shore and see some stuff, and then the rest of the day I'm just chilling by the pool reading.
I've heard
Sounds
like,
great.
but see, here's the thing is like I've seen a lot of vloggers like talking about like the worst experience, like they'll go on like the worst cruises or the most expensive cruise. Like they do like this like review type thing and they
Oh
show
yeah. Well, I mean, we
and
have the whole poop cruise documentary
oh
on
my,
Netflix right now. Like,
I
you got
yes,
that,
I
and I saw some picture of someone posting, just like, oh, they overbooked this cruise. Like, this is just so ghetto, and it was just like the pool was just like a like jacuzzi bubble bath of like
oh
kids and everyone just
gross.
like running around. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound the best right now.
Well, the thing about it too is like I feel like they market it where it's like you're on like your private little, or I guess your private big ship. It's just going to be you. It's super relaxing. But they again, yeah, they overbook it or they try to get as many people
Yeah,
on these ships
yeah,
and then
because
it's
everyone's paying the same ticket, and then they're
yep,
on.
yep.
I the two ways that cruises would make sense to me is, you're old and you don't wanna, like, go crazy, like, walking around everywhere, or you have kids and you just wanna let them run loose.
That is true. But I mean, there has to be like guidelines, at least with kids, like, you know, you always have to have some sort of supervision or something with them. But I've heard the food on cruise ships are like not the greatest either, which
Probably
is
depends on which one, like, it's all whichever one you're going on, I bet.
yeah. I just feel like when you have to mass produce food, it's never good. Like all right, I take that back. I love Chinese buffets. I will eat there any day of the week, but I feel like for the most part when like there's like hundreds of people on a ship and you have to feed them like three meals a day, and I feel like some of those like some of the cruises are like, you know, you can have food whenever you want, like the chefs are always there.
Yeah. I don't
But
know, that depends on the logistics of the food, but also, like, different foods are mass produced better than other foods. Like, when we did our wedding, like, a year and a half ago, we're like, Indian buffet. Indian food is the best mass produced,
mm,
hands down. But, like, if you're doing, like, a sandwich something or whatever, or
yeah.
like all the banquet chicken, no thanks. Or no, worst case, banquet steak.
Ooh.
What a waste. It's all gonna be medium done or medium to well done.
Yeah. Yeah. I will agree there. Like there are some foods where it's like, yeah, it can feed a lot of people and still taste. I feel like potatoes are always something that you can't really screw up. Like maybe if it's mashed potatoes that they get too watery,
Yeah.
then okay. But I feel like if you just make a potato, like just bake it or slice it up and cook it in the oven, just add some salt and butter, and usually it's fine.
Mhm.
Um, so, but Yeah, as far as the world one goes, there wasn't a whole lot with that. There again, they were talking about some like ancient stuff in there, so I'm not going to cover too much of that because it doesn't really pertain to
Wait, what
2005.
was that? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We gotta keep it to 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like not a lot changed.
Yep. No, not a whole
At
lot.
least if we're judging the world by like vacation destinations,
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the same.
All right, we'll spin the wheel again. See what we'll land on.
Invention.
We already did inventions.
Yeah.
Two
Two
buildings and
buildings.
landmarks.
Oh, what
All
were we
right.
building back then?
So this one, okay, yeah, this one. The reason why I picked this one was because I was like, oh, it's up now, but the world's tallest building will stand proudly in New York City by the year 2009. Plans for a 1,776-foot tall glass Freedom Tower will be built on the land where the Twin Towers,
Oh, right.
yep, once stood. New
Yeah, this
New
would have
York,
been 4 years after 9/11.
yep. And it's interesting because I don't think it's the world's tallest anymore. I think oh no, Saudi Arabia, is it Saudi Arabia has the tallest one?
I
We don't,
believe
it's,
so. It's either Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi. Yeah, in between 2005 and now, that's another area that really developed was Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and then a lot of East Asian cities too. Come to think of it,
yeah.
like
So
Singapore and a lot of Korea, fast. Well, a lot of cities fast developed then. Just
yeah,
thinking back on it.
yeah, it really is kind of weird to look back 2005 where some of the countries and just like, where they were as compared to now, and just like feelings towards them, and just, like and like, have they developed more now since then? So it really is kind of weird to like look back. And again, that's why we're doing this, is kind of
Yeah.
see how
I
things have
mean,
changed.
my city now, Atlanta, like most of the skyline did not exist 20 years ago that's here right now.
Oh, really?
Like there's like a little pocket in downtown that's the same as it was 20 years ago. But all of Midtown and some of downtown, but especially like all of Midtown is just like fast developed in the last 20 years.
Interesting. Yeah, it's great. Like I think that's why I'm not a huge fan of like the city life, or like wanting to live there, because I feel like you might get like a great location and get a great like view, and then just because it's a city, like sometimes like, all right, they're going to erect a new building there, like there's always that potential. Not to say like in urban
Oh
areas.
yeah. I lived in a high rise for a good portion of it, and like I started with a really good eastern view, and by the
Mhm.
time that I moved out of that place, I lost my southern view from like three different high rises that went up in the
Oh
time that
my
I lived there.
gosh, that
Like
is
it was,
insane.
but it was really fun to watch as it was going on. I had cranes right outside my window. I was just like, oh, they're putting in the windows today.
Yeah, that I think that's what draws me away from like the city life, is just that aspect of it. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the city is beautiful, especially I feel like at night and like in the winter time. I feel like it just has a certain ambiance about it that you just can't beat. But I think much prefer living in a rural, maybe like, I'd rather look at trees than or mountains than, I guess, buildings.
I guess. I mean, you still have some on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, if you do it right, you got trees like along the sidewalk. Otherwise, you got another problem of sweating to death on your way home. Well, here's the one selling point. If you've never tried living in a city before, is if you set yourself up where you don't have to touch your car unless you go out of your way to do it. Like you walk to work, you walk back, you walk to all the little stores. I think it's always worth like driving to the grocery store, just if you're doing more than like a few bags. But if you're able to set up yourself where you can go like multiple weeks without touching a car, like it will change your life.
I will say that is something that I am jealous of like the city life where like you don't have to worry about your car so much or like really even get a
Well,
car.
it's not that. And I tried the city life out just because I never did it before when I moved to Atlanta. And like what it is if you walk a half to a full mile, or really like a quarter to a full mile to like get to work or just go around do things instead of driving 10 to 20 minutes, like it just makes your day better because you're active and we're meant to move.
Hmm.
So it's working in like light exercise into your day. That's what makes it good. It's not really like the touching the car or whatever. It's the
Yeah.
like you're not chained to a sedentary lifestyle.
Okay. Okay.
That's what makes it really good. Like I still walk to work because I'm close to a MARTA station. That's our subway, so I can just take the train into the city.
That must be nice.
Oh, it's great.
Okay. Speaking of cities, have you heard of the Saudi Arabia's plan for that huge city?
Oh, the wall city.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Yes.
170 kilometers long.
I don't know why, but uh,
I yeah,
must have been a really good presentation.
I it it must have been like I don't think it's called I think it's called the it's Mirror City. I think that's
Yeah,
what they're gonna call
something
it.
like that. Well, they're doing the smart thing of well, they have a limited amount of time where they're going to be uber wealthy from
Yeah.
oil, because at a certain point we're all going to be in electric vehicles or whatever, or we're going to run out of oil. Like that will eventually happen, like within like some people say 50 years, some people say 100, but like within the next 500 at least. We're not
Yeah.
using oil anymore. So they better build like a lot of cool stuff in the meantime.
Everyone gets a water slide. Everyone gets a
they
pool and a water
gotta they
slide.
gotta invest. They need to like they're like, we have a limited amount of time to create generational wealth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
So
mean,
so it makes a lot of sense.
yeah, at this point, why not? You know, it's like you have it. I mean, I don't know how much they've invested into like space travel. Like, if they have this much money, why not like, explore other worlds? If they could do it, why not?
I don't know.
I feel like that's
Well, I
that.
think if you're like creating the stuff to make generational wealth, like Abu Dhabi or like all the cities in
Yeah.
Qatar, for instance, like are just like rich people paradises. So
Yeah.
they're trying to get some cities up there like that'll like rank at least on the same scale as Paris for visiting. They're doing Las Vegas's, which is
Mm.
really hard when you have a religion that doesn't like drinking or all of the fun spins.
Yeah.
They're just like, ah, yeah, houses, big skyscrapers, sports cars.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot with the innovation or the buildings and landmarks, but that one I wanted to mention too because I
Yeah,
found it just interesting that yeah, in 2009 that was quite a while ago. So,
yeah.
but
I mean, they've done a lot of their development since around then.
yeah. All right, we'll spin the wheel. 9.
There's 9.
Oh, this one.
Music. Oh, what was the Audie's music like?
Well, okay, there's a right like the first paragraph that I read, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that. So listen up, music lovers. In late 2003, the Recording Industry Association of America filed lawsuits against 261 people, including 12-year-old Brianna Torres. The message: swapping music free of charge over the internet is
Oh,
illegal.
oh man. Was this Napster or
Yes.
what was the other one?
LimeWire.
LimeWire. That's the one our family did.
Yeah.
We owned a lot of that music ahead of time. It's just like, yeah, but we didn't know that, like we didn't have the digital version of it.
it it was like I understand. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
that was the gap before streaming was a thing.
yes, like there was the only thing that you had was like your physical, like, like because when did the iPod come
Yeah,
out?
that's what I was thinking because I think I had an iPod by then.
When did the iPod
I think I had like one of those like 32 gigabyte ones by then, and that was
two
loaded up with mostly
two
stolen music.
2001.
Yeah, yeah.
2001. So yeah, and then let's see here.
That iPod was my lifeblood back then. Oh my gosh.
When was LimeWire created? LimeWire was created a year before that, so in 2000, LimeWire was there.
Yeah, but there was no reason to have like MP3s, like unless you had a good portable thing to put it on.
And see, that's the thing too, is that I feel like there were MP3 players before the iPod came out,
Well, the
which
iPod was such a clean design. Like you could
yes,
do it all with that scroll wheel, and I don't know how the scroll wheel was so like fine tuned to like after using it for a day, it was so easy to get from one album to another.
yes, and I think that's just the thing with like with Steve Jobs was that that's why everyone was like, this guy's an alien. It's just because he
How did
brought
they figure it out? Like that
yeah,
was so clean.
and his
Man, what an interface.
yeah, and his ideas and just the way that he was just changing the whole industry, because not only was it the music industry and just like the I guess music players or like audio, it was like, okay, now they're getting into the phones. Now they're going to change how we live, like applications. Like you never heard the word applicate. Like we say apps, but when someone was like, yeah, I download the application, like what, no one knew what an application was or what it could do.
Well, that's most of how they make money now, I think, is through the App Store and
Oh,
also money
yeah.
from Google for making Google the default search engine, which somehow they never talk about in those monopoly congressional hearings
Yeah, yeah,
with
right.
Google. Yeah, Google's like without that they would be arguably not a monopoly because people use them from just being the best search engine, but because they give all of this money to be the default search engine for Safari on iPhones, it's
Yeah.
that's so anti-competitive.
And that like it is interesting to download other, because like I've downloaded DuckDuckGo before. DuckDuckGo is not terrible. Um, what other ones have I gotten? A Firefox. That one isn't terrible. Like Oprah. It's just, I don't know what it is. I think Google just like figured it out and just
Yeah,
everything
no,
is
they've just
very
been good at it. I mean, the
yeah.
search engine alone is just good, and now they're doing other things. Well, that's my only pet peeve. Like, I don't mind them having a really good search engine. I just have them. I have a problem with them having a really awesome search engine, owning the market, owning YouTube, owning all these
Yeah.
other things, and now they're like with OpenAI and all these other things. But
It
that's what it's yeah.
well, it almost speaking of that, it's like almost like the whole Amazon thing where I I see Amazon trucks constantly just everywhere.
Yeah,
And it's
well, like Amazon by itself is like great, but where the problem is they own the market up and down, where they own the most efficient logistics network ever. Like if you have a warehouse in your town, and then they own the marketplace online, and they own like all of these other like things. Like I mean, I'm an author, I've got books out, and like if I didn't use Amazon to put out my books, like I would make like a single digit percentage of what I make
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's so efficient. But that's like for an indie author, like I'm never gonna get these big bookstores to like put out all my books when I have like such a small following. But with Amazon, it's so efficient that I can.
And see
But
like
because they own it up and down, like they're gonna
yeah.
ice out anyone from coming in on their territory.
It's such a weird realm because like I 100% agree. Like the fact that they can do things and like they just make things easier for like the low man on the totem pole, it helps. But then again, when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's like, well, I don't like they're the like they have everything, and it's I don't
Yeah.
know, it gets out of hand, and it's just this weird
We're we're
area.
we're in this era where it's like starting to get out of hand, but they're like a little bit aware of it. I mean, they
Yeah.
straight up steal people's IP for like products.
Oh my gosh.
It's
uh
nuts.
yeah. But that is what one was that? That was for music.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, we were just talking about iPods. Did
I
it have
know.
any what were there any good albums?
Let me
I'm trying to think of like Audie's albums that I like back then.
let me did I
'Cause I feel like indie rock was starting to become a thing. Like, oh, what's
let me find, where was it? Music 184. 184. Let me see if there's any.
Ooh, Kanye West Gold Digger. Oh man. That
Oh,
was when Kanye was good.
that's when Kanye was Kanye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like he's different people across time, but that's when
Yeah.
he made good music.
Yeah. It doesn't really go into. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Well, this one is the top 5 all-time albums, but that's from yeah, that's not anything to do with 2005.
Ooh,
That's
LCD
something
Sound System put
that's
their
something
thing
that I
out
kind of
then.
dislike about this almanac thing, is it doesn't just specifically stay with 2005.
Yeah.
It
Well,
kind of goes all over the
I'm
place.
curious what it said because here's the thing is music from that long ago has the worst survivorship bias where like if we looked at what was really popular back then, you're like, "Oh my gosh, those songs are popular." But if we like think
Oh,
about like our favorite stuff from then, we would think of like all this good stuff that wasn't popular yet.
interesting.
And that's like one of my pet theories is that like music especially has like a 30-year music and fashion has a 30-year cycle
Mhm.
where by the time all the good stuff has survived 30 years, you look back on that decade with nostalgia because you're only remembering the good stuff.
That makes sense.
That's
That
that's a pet theory of mine. I have no proof of this.
I think it sounds good to me. I was gonna go on to movies and TV,
Sure.
but that one uh doesn't really, again, it doesn't say like what movies were popular in 2005. It just gives a movie milestones in like from 1924 all the way up to 2003. 2003, Finding Nemo came out.
I don't remember that one.
2001 was Harry Potter. 1999
Oh
was,
wow.
yeah,
99 was a good year for movies.
I I'm a huge fan of like the movies from like the 80s and 90s and early Ozies, but I feel like, and someone made a post about this online and I 100% agree with it. Like the way that tech, like the CGI, like it was really shitty, and then we hit like Avatar and it was like super good, and then now it's just like it's just going on a downhill slope all over again.
I don't think it's a downhill slope. We've just like gotten used to what we have, and then it's like AI slop. Like when AI images came out, like
Yeah.
3 years ago, we were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool!" And now you see like the best rendered AI image, and you're like, "Oh, this is so awful."
Yeah, that's AI.
Oh, I can't believe you're posting that.
All right. Well, I think we got time for one more spin,
Sure,
and then we'll call it for the episode.
that sounds good.
Two. We already did two. Already did six.
6.
All right. If it lands on a double, we'll just we'll pick one. Ah, four
Okay,
disasters.
disasters.
All right.
Oh, what were the disasters of 2005?
All right. Well, we got this one. I do remember this was the California wildfires. So Valley Center, California, residents sprayed water on their rooftops. They were trying to prevent a nearby wall of water fire. Okay, just
Oh, Katrina was '05.
was it?
Yeah, because this year's the 20-year anniversary.
No way.
This almanac might have come out before Katrina.
Oh, when was the publishing date on this thing? I'm
Oh, I
not
see
sure.
the wildfires of 2005. Those wildfires happen like all the time now.
Yeah. Wait, you're saying Katrina?
Yeah,
When?
yeah, it was September or August of '05.
Oh, yeah, August 23rd of 2005. So this one must have come out either like as like in July
Oh, it would have
or
been right before.
yeah, like right before it happened, or when was the time for whatever. Long story short, yeah, this was published before Katrina. Otherwise, I think they would have
Yeah, that
added it.
that would have been the big one if
Not
it was
yeah.
before. Yeah, August 2005.
Oh, that is crazy.
That was such a big deal. There was a really good documentary I want to say on Netflix about Katrina. I think oh, who was that? I think it was a Spike Lee documentary on it.
Okay.
It was so good. And they had like they did a really good job showing off there was apparently some army general that like took control of the National Guard, and he was just like, I don't know why no one else is doing shit, so I just got in and started doing stuff, and literally everyone they interviewed was just like, FEMA worthless, White House worthless, Congress worthless, this general got shit done.
Oh, I've been contemplating watching the Katrina one. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I know. It's worth watching.
Okay.
Um, at least the last episode, I like how they did it, but the last episode was like just interviewing survivors, and then up until then is like kind of a play by play how everything happened and went down, and
Oh
when the
god.
levees broke.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's really good. I mean, it was such a big deal when that happened. I mean, I grew up in Arkansas, so when it happened, there were all sorts of relief efforts from where we were at, and then we got a bunch of refugees afterwards because we were so close. Got a lot
Oh
of good
shit.
jazz musicians back then.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And I remember watching a couple of like documentaries, nothing to do with like Katrina, but they were talking about that stuff in the documentary and just like how bad it was. And I do remember like one of them saying like, yeah, like the cemeteries, it was horrible. Like bodies that have been buried were now coming
yeah.
up from the ground, and it's
Wow,
just
no, have you ever lived through a flood like that? Like,
no.
oh, it's like everything is on hold. No, like you can't
Ugh.
do anything, and the property is potentially done. Like,
Yeah.
well, my parents' house is on the Arkansas River, and they've gone through two floods that
Mm.
like it didn't ever flood the main living area because it was high up on off the ground enough,
Yeah.
but one like flooded the whole area around it for like a few days, and then another one flooded like the whole area around it and came like inches of living area for
Oh
like
my gosh.
weeks. And when that happened, it's like, okay, the whole year is about recovering from the flood.
Yeah.
It's like, and some like, even if it doesn't destroy anything, it's nuts. And like that whole city, like if you go to New Orleans, which I highly recommend, that's a great place to visit if you like jazz or food. I love Cajun Creole food.
Oh yeah.
So good. But they have monuments that like on main streets that shows like how high the water got when the levees broke, and you just can't believe it. Like especially if you've lived through a flood and know like how much damage that causes. Because
Yeah.
like if water like that gets into a living area, then it's total renovation. Like everything's molded out,
Well,
unlivable.
well, I feel like the ecosystem then changes as well too for a while at least too. Like it's if if people are relying on like fishing or any sort of thing whatever it may be, the ecosystem could change then thereafter, and then you could be totally fucked. So, because like farmland, I was one of the Dakotas. I remember got a really bad flooding one time too, and farmland. If it gets too much water, then the crops die. It's just like it can change everything. It's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, well, cities mostly. Like when the city floods,
Oh
like
yeah.
I mean, it's been over a year since that one that went through Asheville,
Oh yes,
and they're
that's
still
right.
recovering in some areas. And well, I heard on the news that there were some people that like are trying to like sell there's apparently some FEMA law where like if your house is in a floodplain, then you can sell it at a pre-flood value up to a certain percent and move somewhere else. And this is so that you don't redevelop in a floodplain. And,
Oh,
and it's a year out and they're still waiting on money.
oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's fast, but when it's like a big correlated risk like a hurricane, like sometimes FEMA moves really slowly.
I believe it.
Like my brother got his place taken out by a tornado once, and like he got his check really fast. But
Yeah.
like if it's a place like Asheville or like in this case Katrina, like they're not getting any help because there isn't enough money to like cover the cost
Mhm.
of that property damage of an entire city.
Yeah. It really will be interesting. Speaking of like disasters and everything, it really will be interesting to see like the next because I remember when like the coronavirus first came out. Well, not first came out, but like that whole year leading up to it, there was like killer hornets, there was wildfires, there was
Oh
like
my, yeah.
every
So much stuff
month
like
there
that.
was yeah, every month there was something different, and then coronavirus happened, and then thereafter, like it was just all coronavirus. Then after, nothing was really
Yeah, nothing
uh,
else was relevant at the time.
yeah, it was just like everyone was focusing on that. So, but yeah, I think that's all the time we have for this 2005 Almanac. Thank B McGraw, thank you for coming by and sharing your input on these topics.
Oh, no problem. I'm on my garbage week in between Christmas and when I want to go back to work next Monday.
For our audience members, do you B McGraw, do you have anything that you want? I know you, like you said, you have 2 books out, you have your
Oh,
thing going
well,
on.
I mean, I have 4 books out. Last time I
Hell yeah.
plugged my new one, which you should check out, How to Prove Anything, which it had a bestseller sticker on Amazon for at least a week and a half when we released. So
Hell yeah.
it's doing pretty good. So check that out. I'll plug my other one that I don't get a lot of chance to plug. It's called 69. It's a historic fiction about a Roman civil war in the year
Ah,
69 AD. You know how I like got really nerdy about GPS, and
yeah.
it's just like that's like some obscure thing that I know a lot of facts about.
Yeah.
The Roman Civil War in 69 AD, also known as the year of the 4 emperors, is my history version of that, where I just know a lot of things about it. But I basically fictionalized that part of that civil war. The one that's out, it follows Otho, which is the second of the 4 emperors. And I haven't heard a lot of bad things about it. If you like history, you'll love it. My editor said that it was written for the bros. So check it out. Also, my blog, jabd.com. We just put out a paper about it's doing so well online right now. I've been distracted looking at all the notifications. There was a post on r/math memes that was kind of a small clip of this where it was just like it was making fun of the Epstein files, and it had like a short little blip about eigenvalues and vectors, and just called them Epstein values and vectors, and blocked out everything. So I made like a 5-page paper where I like blocked out a ton of stuff. That was just what we did today, for instance. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I really do appreciate you stopping by. Use the audience member. If you enjoyed what you listened to, go hit us up on all the major platforms for podcasting. And again, just remember that old saying that we have here: we don't want stuff that's normal. We want stuff that's effing weird.